Hello, and welcome to this episode of Say It Anyway. Do you like my scene look? My scene hair? Yeah? I should be in a band with this. Anyway, I'm sure this is going to be distracting to you the entire time that I talk, but you're going to have to deal with it. Why? Because I said so. Now, you shouldn't have to deal with it. You should be able to turn this off or make me fix my hair, because the phrase, because I said so, is bullshit. All right? That phrase I have never, ever agreed with. And luckily, because of my parents, I've never had to just go along with it. Now, I think that everybody needs to live their lives being able to fight against the phrase, because I said so. All right? And if you're somebody who says, because I said so, you can explain yourself. It doesn't matter how nitty and gritty it gets. There's always something to explain and a reason for doing something. If there is no reason, then it should be up for debate. Okay? Some things should be up for debate. I think anything should be up for debate. If you have conviction behind your decisions, then you should be able to explain yourself. Even when I used to be a substitute teacher or I was doing some special ed teaching, I wouldn't say because I said so. If they would ask, like, why do we have to learn math? And I'd be like, well, so that you can move, why do we have to learn algebra? So that you can move to the next math class and be functional. And they're like, well, why do we need to know this in general? I'm like, well, because in case you want to do anything that's in a field that involves more mathematics, you need to have that basis of learning. And then they're like, well, why does that matter? I'm like, well, as a country, we need to be able to compare and compete to the other countries. And they're like, well, I'm not going to use math like this today. That's not what I'm going to do for a living. And I was like, well, you're 13. You could have a good idea of what you're going to do for a living, but think about what you wanted to do for a living when you were 7. You thought you were going to be like an astronaut, Britney Spears, So what you're going to do for a living changes over time. And these are skills that you could potentially use. And then I could say because it's a part of the curriculum, because it's needed for these higher level jobs and higher level mathematics in the future. But I wouldn't just say, do this because I said so. I could say there's logic that goes behind it. I could say because it's a state and federal requirement and it's a way in which we compare, and doing well in mathematics would make your grades look better overall, or and give you more opportunities in the future with college or with other things. I still wouldn't say because I said so, because it's rude. Now, I just kept answering them when they kept saying why, until they got tired of me talking, and then they went and did their work. Now, this is a method that I think would work with children. I have friends that have little 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds, so they're saying, no, they never get tired of asking why. But I don't think it's right to say because I said so. And if we do something because it's a tradition, then explain that it's a tradition, and then explain why that tradition is there, or what it's used for, or what it's good for. Like the fact that Columbus Day is still a holiday. That should not be named that. And you're like, well, we've always done it like that. Okay, but why do we have to do that now? That's not one of those things that really is the basis for how we stick together as a country, Columbus Day. So I just think that whatever position you have on a policy, on a theory, on life, you should be able to explain yourself. I'm really tired of people saying like, well, that's just my belief. And it's okay to have beliefs, but I think we should be able to explain ourselves. And I think it's abusive to kids to just tell them what to do all the time without explanation, because that's not setting them up for knowing when they are going to need to stand up for themselves in the future. If you keep doing the because I said so, then later they might have a boss that's saying because I said so, but it's a time where they should definitely stop and think, because what they're doing may not be correct. I just want you to know that everything should be up for question and debate, and it always is with me. Now, something that's up for question and debate is definitely this freaking hair right now. Let me fix that. Okay, is that better? I think most of you just watched to the end just to see if I would even do that at all. Anyway, point being, question everything. All right? That is one of the few things that I have lived with, and it's very much helped me. You don't need to question yourself all the time. Don't question yourself all the time. That's terrifying. But question policy. Question certain tradition. Question the way in which things work. You know, some people are like, well, you know, just the idea of somebody being a multi-billionaire and then a lot of people in America not having money. I mean, we should question that. We make up all the rules, so let's continually assess them. And if we decide the rules as they are good, then perfect. But we should be able to defend that. So never, ever say, because I said so. You know why? Because I said so.